Recording. Okay, go.
Is it possible to make the world of finance and music meld together in an intriguing story? In a story that you can read and learn about how to create a business plan?
Well,
Yes.
to be honest, I mean, it's all good, right? It's all good. At the end of the day, I mean, what is it? I mean, so music, right? I think what is it, Pythagorean? I was on an interview, and thanks to Catherine Fleischman at Do Tell PR and Blink PR for setting this up, and thank you to Elton for setting this up, for just giving me a chance to actually speak with people that are, you know, my contemporaries and people that I love to talk with. I mean, what's technology for other than to be expressive? So yeah, I mean, I really do think that, you know, on one case scenario, we had it right back in the 90s, possibly in the 80s, and possibly before that with the 70s. And really, I mean, you know, my first real work opportunity taught me a lot, and that was healthcare first, media second, right? So what was strange is that I really wanted to be in sales and trading because I thought the amount of the sicknesses, right, is the Chinese wall of information, right? It's not some other wall that we're going to charge another place or another time. It's 8:45 right now, but it's not some other wall, and we're not going here, we're not going there. It's all directions. It's all different places and all different focuses. But if you've got a battle buddy, right, one that actually is a good counterpart, one that will keep you thinking right, then you can counteract the, as I look now out the window, you could counteract any kind of negative polarization in terms of thoughts. Music is the answer. You know, I'm a man of anagrams, and that's why I titled my book Moran. And the more and more I think about it, here, let me turn the light off. Oh, wow, you can't really see me, so let me turn it back on. So, you know, teamwork gets you there in person, right? And so I think that at the end of the day, you have one life to live. You have, you know, just so many times, so many minutes. How many minutes has gone by now? 1, 2, 3, possibly. So I started learning the piano and thinking about LinkedIn, for instance, my favorite website that I've been in since 2004. I was invited to that, and I'm not some sort of like, I don't know, Napoleon or Napoleon Hill or whatever you want to call it. But I enjoy interactivity. I enjoy being able to meet people in person and see the difference of what they look like on a video stream with someone holding the camera versus actually being in person and going to the gym or going for a run together. And music, Moran, you know, M.O. ran, because I actually did go to the Army. Who goes to Los Angeles to go to the Army? I have no idea, but I did, because as soon as I got to the casting directors, I applied to be an apprentice, and that was fun, but I didn't get it. I auditioned like crazy when I was in New York and didn't get anything really. I mean, I think I got maybe 2 or 3 different credits, but I did a lot of screenplay writing and screenplay coverage. It's called coverage. And as an insurance agent, I think a lot about, you know, all these pharmaceuticals that are being distributed. And thank God, in about a year's time, we've been able to come up with some of the best and best of Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna, all being able to relieve the sickness of the United States. Centralization versus decentralization versus polarization versus isolation. So at the end of the day, you know, I wrote this book because it was 27 chapters. I didn't want to really release the book. As a matter of fact, just yesterday I was on a video streaming site. We did streaming media before, I guess, YouTube came out. I did just release a quick video and then some other videos. But yeah, I think someone mentioned something about shoes, and you know, is there a choice? Is there a decision? You know, does one person get one vote? Is it always, you know, common versus preferred? You know, there are 4 Commonwealth states, right? Kentucky, I want to say Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Virginia, perhaps. So tonight's the 8th night of Hanukkah, and thankfully I'm able to celebrate with everyone. And thank you for putting it together. I don't know how many minutes have gone by now, but it's just it's about having order. I like having order because you look at some of today's musicians. I started taking some courses on LinkedIn. It's phenomenal, the courses that are available there. It really is. Sharing articles, that's great, but the courses like learning piano, oh my gosh. And now the differences in levels of currency. So my book was written like a business plan, and I don't mean to talk too much. It's 8:50 right now, but I don't mean to talk too much about myself and be a brag or a bravado. But at the end of the day, it was called 1-800-Goodies. I just had seen a commercial for MCI called 1-800-Music Now. And someone else came up to me with something else called Now. I think there's a very popular conglomerate, compilations and sharing between music companies where you get to sample different artists and hear everyone together, like a composite, for instance, like NASDAQ or the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the Russell 5000. It's interesting. It's a way of artists supporting each other. It's all about that because it's 1, 2, 3, and for whatever reason, someone had the idea that we had to do it every 6 years. Senators are usually in term for 6 years. I'm a fan of a lot of different artists. Whether or not I actually get to meet them in person, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I was strongly influenced by possibly a 3-day relationship that got me thinking. In 3 days, 72 hours, I learned more than I could possibly learn. More than, let me get the cursor off of my forehead. More than 27 years. So it's all about Florida, the Sunshine State, and I'm happy to be here. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I was going to ask, what was the time frame process for you from the idea of writing your book to actually having a hard copy in your hand?
So I gotta give it up to Amazon, and it was on my website with my dad, who recently passed, unfortunately, along with a lot of other people. What was strange is that within arm's distance, we could have saved the day on multiple reasons. So I released the book. It's a semi-autobiographical memoir, and one is the mother's character of Caleb, which I'm now trying to work on a website just called Caleb Now. Because of its interactivity, I say to myself, so I had to release it on 10/25.
When did you start working on it? When did you get the idea?
I started working on it when I was doing V Change, like an agent of change. I worked on V Change, for nickels and dollars and quarters and pennies. At the same time, it was exciting because I learned about MP4 streaming, and we started with marriages, and then we moved on from marriages to corporations and real estate schools, and then we just streamed everything online. I wouldn't have found Zoom if it wasn't for Google. I mean, Google is kind of like a devil's advocate to many respects because Adobe Flash Player, which is no longer available on Creative Capital Works website, is somehow missing. It's odd that way. What is allowed, what can you find, and what is the worth? I sold my book for $19.99. Although I really didn't want to do any kind of book at all. I actually was interested in becoming an officer. As soon as I got to LA, as I mentioned, I went to a casting, saw myself on camera and said, this isn't gonna work. This really isn't gonna work. I'm not the camera type of person. I'm not shy, but you know, this isn't gonna work. I can't see myself being in any kind of supporting, leading, or background whatsoever, although I was background many times.
Well, thank you so much, David, for sharing about your book, your process for coming here, making it here. And the name of the book is
Out of Business, Moran, Dea.
Out of Business. I had it right in front of
Is
me.
it Dea? Am I pronouncing it right?
Dea.
Dea.
Out of Business, Moran. And it's the story of Caleb and how he is
It's
able
like
to.
a Herman Hesse, like if you've ever read Siddhartha, and I had read that, that was like, what do they call it, required reading or?
Yes, required reading.
Yeah.
Well, look for David on Amazon.com for his book, Out of Business, Moran.
Where are you, Dea? What?
North Carolina. And we've
North
got
Carolina.
a couple of people in North Carolina, but we've got some people in the Hamptons as well.
Yeah.
Are you
So,
in the
David-
Hamptons, Elton?
No.
We're in North
North
Carolina,
Carolina.
but Ross and Sarah are in the Hamptons.
Yeah. So we
Ross
want
and
to thank
Sarah,
you,
and
David.
wow, that must be a lot of fun.
We want to thank
Southampton,
you for being on our
Northampton?
show today. We want to thank you for your support and inclusion.
No problem.
I wish we had more time, but let's come back another time and engage a little more thoroughly. We just got a few more guests we want to make sure we add to. So please stay tuned. We'll keep you posted on upcoming events and also about your book, and we'll follow up with you for that. Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Elton.
you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you for